Welcome back, everyone. Today's show is all about getting out of that rut, trying something new, and there's nothing worse than always seeming to be broke. You know, it's not a fun way to live, and it's never too late to try and take steps to get back on track. And joining us from the Bank of Luxemburg is Rebecca Edler with some just great tips to get you started, get on the path to a bright future. Good morning, Rebecca. Good to see you. So first of all, let's talk about a plan. And it's never too late to start saving for retirement. I remember when I first started working, I didn't do the whole 401k thing for a few years because I just thought I couldn't afford it. What a mistake. I missed 5 years that could have been building. And certainly I've been doing it for many, many years now, and it adds up. It's not too late to start doing that.
It's never too late. Obviously, the earlier you can start, the better you're going to be. And this really goes back to some of those basic math principles, you know, the power of compounding, the rule of 72. You know, the longer you're able to save for the retirement, you really are going to continue to see some of those savings just continue to build over the years. So if you're able to have some sort of a 401k or 403b plan through work, check with your employer to see if they have any sort of a matching contribution, and make sure you do at least your minimum contribution for the match.
Very good point.
That's basically free money that you're going to be giving up if you don't.
And if you can do the maximum, even better, because as you said, over time it really adds up. And you know, once they're taking it out of your check anyway, you really won't miss it because you'll get used to it.
You absolutely never notice it. The one thing with your 401k though is you still should look at it at least once or twice a year to make sure that you're on track. So just like you would with your other investments, don't leave your 401k alone. You do want to pay attention to it.
Babysit a little bit.
Yeah.
Or create a budget, and this is a good one. You know, kind of looking at what you spend and looking at where you could cut back a little bit.
You know, when you're looking at budget, tax time is a fantastic time to revisit all that. You're basically pulling together all of your expenses from last year. You're looking at your income from the previous year. You'll be able to see what you have for disposable income, maybe ways you might be able to cut back, kind of like you mentioned earlier, maybe not going out to dinner as much, and seeing what other options you have out there.
It can add up, and we used to go out Friday and Saturday night. Even if you just cut out one of those nights, you know, that could be several $100s a month. It's not cheap to go out to dinner, you know.
It really isn't. My husband and I love Friday fish fry, but that's basically our date night.
Right,
And that's one thing that we enjoy doing together, so we know we can cut back a little bit, you know, other places, so we can still enjoy that one night out.
Absolutely. All right, invest in a home. This is a good time. There's some great buys out there, especially if you've been renting forever and ever. This is one of those things that you maybe should take a look at.
It is. You might be really surprised, especially if you are renting, what type of home you can afford, and your payments may not be that different from what you're paying on rent right now. Interest rates are still extremely low, so if you're looking at a 30-year mortgage, you can still get rates well under 4%, which is unbelievable.
I remember when we were first looking for our home, it turned out our mortgage payment was less than rent, and the rent always seems to raise. You know what I mean? They never lower the rent.
No,
you know?
No, and you do have some tax deduction options with that. So if you're looking at purchasing a home, you might have some extra options for deducting some of that interest on your taxes. If you already have a home, this is a great time to look at doing some improvements to your home and seeing what you might be able to do to increase your value.
Good point. Last but not least, watch the rates. There have been some really great rates, from car loans to mortgage rates. You know, don't not take advantage of them, right?
Exactly. If you haven't refinanced your cars or your home, any home equity loans in at least the last year, stop into your bank to see if this is going to be a good time. You might be really surprised what, you know, 0.5% or 0.75% on an interest rate is really going to do for your monthly payments.
Adds up.
It really will, and that might be some extra money you can either use towards your budget. You might be able to save some of that money for a vacation, or possibly putting it into retirement savings.
Good points. Or fish fry.
Or fish fry.
Rebecca Edler, Bank of Luxemburg. Great to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Amy.